live or not yet. Oh, there we go. I think we're live now. I think we are. Cool. Hello, everyone who's probably not in the, not even here.
Yeah, I can't see like if there's anyone in there or not. Do you still have the window?
Nah, I've got it closed. I've got the chat open in case anyone wants to say hello. But I've closed the other window.
I might open it.
But yeah, so for anyone who is actually watching, it's just me and Marty just hanging out and drawing pictures and just shooting the shit. So yeah, I think Logan might be coming in later as well. So that'll be.
Is Jeff coming in? Jeff a recruit?
No, I haven't heard from Jeff, so I'm just kind of assuming he's asleep, given his crazy sleep pattern.
Yeah, he's all over the place with his sleeping, isn't he?
Yeah, plus I know he's super busy at the moment, so as he is.
What's he working on?
Well, the last thing I saw him do was he's trying to catch up on about like 20 days worth of daily sketches.
Oh yeah, the ones he's doing on his phone.
Yeah, awesome too. On the phone.
That's insane. He's gotten really good at it too.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't upgraded. I suppose that's the challenge too. What's he got like a note, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got the same as me, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe you should start doing them.
I don't know what program he uses, but I've tried, and it's kind of unnatural.
Yeah.
The only thing I found like it was actually good for was like if we're out running errands or something and I have to sit down for a while or wait for something, then I've whipped out my phone and I've just like done some really scribbly, crappy layout sketches for a job I'm working on. And I've actually used one of them. I can't remember what it was for now, but I did use one and like expand on it when I got home, printed it out or something like that. But yeah, just really scribbly crap.
Yeah, remember I had the note through and I think I used Sketchbook Express and that was pretty intuitive.
Yeah, that's what I've got, I think. Actually.
Yeah, but the stylus for it is really nice from what I remember anyway. Like I was pretty surprised at how capable it was of dealing with, you know, that software.
Yeah, no, it draws pretty well. The only problem with mine is I think my phone's messed up because there's a certain section of the screen where it's like it's not calibrated. It's not drawing in the right spot. So, yeah, that's not fun.
Matthew McIntosh says hello. Hey, Matt.
G'day. How you doing? Someone has joined. How lovely.
We're not alone in the world, Marty. I think if I do get another phone soon, which won't be for a while, I'll probably get something that's a little bit more capable of doing those things.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
hello, Robin.
Oh, jeez. I lost my chat. Where'd it go? There it is.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Who's featured on the YouTube stream? Is it showing both our webcams or just you?
I think it just swaps out between the two of us. So whoever's yeah. I'll double check it anyway.
Can anyone confirm this? I'm talking to the audience. Can anyone confirm this? I don't know.
I'm watching it now. Yeah, it's swapping between us. There's a bit of there's lag.
Really?
I'm watching us talking about like 10 seconds ago.
Close it. Don't ruin the time-space continuum.
Very weird. Oh, what's that? Have you got one of those fancy doodah sharpeners?
What's what? Yeah.
Oh man,
it's I got sick of sharpening. Where's my webcam? There it is.
Oh,
it's just. I think it was from Office.
Yeah, you want to get one of those big ones that you just sort of like install to your desk and plug it into the wall.
That's heavy duty, man. I don't know if you need that.
Yeah, but you'd never need to replace it. It would last a lifetime.
I've had this for ages. Hello, Chrissy Murray. Welcome.
Oh, hello.
We were just
I was just about to check
we're
out.
just going to be talking crap. You're what?
I was just about to check out snaps.
Check out your snaps. Is that what you said?
My Snapchat. You just sent me a whole bunch of snaps.
Okay. Well, you're popular.
I like to think so.
Now I feel bad. Like I really should have set up my my drawing camera. I really should have done that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of sharing my screen, but you know, I'm working on a private commission at the moment, so I don't really want to just spread it around for other people to see because I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissions.
Yeah, but I'm sort of nearly done with this.
Hey, man.
What's up, Andrew?
So, how secret is it, dude? Like, that's what it is.
I don't know. It's a portrait of about. Sorry, my. It's a portrait of 5 people at a race course. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've got a feeling it's just like a family present or something. So, but yeah, it's just for some friends of mine. But yeah, I haven't done a portrait in a while, so it's a bit struggle.
When we go back to Melbourne, I might kidnap your dog. Don't discipline him too much, please. My dog's just asleep under the desk. I wish I could show you, but I have an iMac and we can't move it.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm back. Yeah, my neighbour's got a truck, so every time he comes home, he like reverses in and it just beeps. It's like it sounds like a garbage truck, so the dog goes mental. Like
nice. Yeah, Lusum hasn't really gotten to the stage of she barks at things yet. So she only really barks when, like, if you're playing with a toy or something. That's pretty much the only time she barks, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, you're lucky. I wish Cooper didn't bark as much as he did, but he's a dog. What can you do?
Yeah, discipline is hard. It's hard work.
Actually, the weird thing is, we should probably start listening to him more when he does bark. Because do you remember last year when my car got broken into? Did I tell you about that?
No, I don't.
I think it was about November. The car got broken into, and Cooper went mad that night, and we just told her, shut up, this is a dog. And yeah, realised that my car had been broken into. I thought, oh yeah, maybe we'll start listening to him when he goes crazy. And he did it again on Sunday night, and we just again fobbed it off, and Jazz's car got broken into.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
dude, you guys don't have much luck.
No, nothing got stolen though.
With that.
Looking for money. Like all of our stuff was scattered across the deck. But, yeah, I think maybe they stole like $4 out of my console, and that was about it.
Yeah, that happens. I'm really glad that the new house we bought has like, like gates, so we actually park our cars in the backyard, basically.
Yeah. Well, you
like totally off.
Our driveway is not exactly on the street. Like you've got to walk all the way up my driveway to get to the cars, so they get very close to the house.
Yeah, true.
Just that's what like they're right out of my door. Getting into our cars. It's creepy as. So we'll be moving soon, so hopefully it won't be as bad in the next house, or we can get a garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should probably talk about something artistic Has anyone? If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them our way, because otherwise we're just going to talk amongst ourselves. Who's Chrissy Marie? Do we know who Chrissy is?
Christine, I think you met her, yeah. Yeah, she was at the wedding.
That's possible.
At the wedding.
Already?
I can't. I don't. Yeah. I'm sure if you saw a photo, you remember her. You're the worst with remembering people as it is. So.
I know, I'm shocking. Do you know? Like going back to, you said maybe we should talk about Supernova.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something to tell you about Supernova. Okay, so as you know, Jamie was there with me, of course, and we had lots of people come up. And I remember faces, so I'm really bad with names. I don't remember people's names at all, but I remember faces. So yeah, that's I know when someone's come this before, because I was like, I remember you, but I've got no clue what your name is. It's terrible. Jamie's kind of the same, but because she manages all like the store orders, and she practically did the Kickstarter orders by herself, and she handled people's problems when they lost books and things like that. She's got this mental database of like all our followers. It's kind of ridiculous. So anyway, so like this girl came up to us on the weekend, and I'm like, yeah, she looks familiar. I've seen you before. That was the extent of me remembering her. Jamie said, you're a Kickstarter backer. And she's like, yeah, I was. And she's like, your name starts with K. And she's like, yeah, it's like Katie or something. And then Jamie's like, and your last name is, I'm just going to say Rogers. And your last name is Rogers. And she's like, yes. And then she's like, okay, this is creepy, but you live at so-and-so and so.
Oh my God.
And she did this like three different times. And I'm like, Jamie, how the hell do you remember this stuff? Because it's ridiculous.
That is that's best. Holy crap.
Yeah, and this is why we need Jamie, because clearly I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Andrew's asking what drawing app were you talking about with your phone? I think we were talking about Sketchbook.
Yeah, the one I used to use was Sketchbook Express. It was free. The Android store. Because I know they do Sketchbook Pro, but you had to pay for it, and I had no money at the time, so yeah, I just used Express. But it had most features, and you just upgrade it whenever you wanted to, and yeah. It was really good too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I could connect mine up with my Dropbox, so I could always just upload my Dropbox and then download it on the computer if I ever needed it. So not that I did it a lot, but it was a handy feature. Rather than
nice.
Every time and upload it, and that's one thing I do miss about the Samsung actually is how much easier it is to transfer files from your Android phone to your computer, or vice versa. Apple's just useless.
Yeah,
just
it's annoying.
To get one video file from my computer to my phone to upload to Instagram, it's a chore and a half, man. It really is.
Yeah, videos with iPhone I've had just problems with, because sometimes it's not like the right codec or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I use the iPhone for all my videos at the moment. I think if I didn't have a Mac, I'd probably be up shit creek as far as videos to edit them. But because I've got the Mac, everything just sort of works in sync anyway. So
yeah.
I have to still go through like 2 or 3 programs just to get it from my phone to my editing software. I can't just drag and drop it like you'd be able to do.
Robin has a question. What inspired you to draw? Quite a general question.
In general, probably just cartoons when I was a kid, I reckon. I remember drawing Ninja Turtles a lot, and that sort of stemmed from there.
Yep, I think we're about the same in that regard. which is probably just to do with our age, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I don't think I really.
yeah, like Ninja Turtles. Mm.
Yeah, I think I probably took it more seriously when I started watching Dragon Ball Z. For whatever
Oh,
reason,
really?
I just drew a lot of characters from there, and I think that's what sort of made my parents realize that I was really into it, and they sent me off to do like drawing classes. And then from that point, then it was just I didn't even think about anything else. And I was not into sports or anything, which probably shows by my size.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
I tried basketball and stuff, but I could never
Me too.
get
Me
into
too.
it. So drawing was just the standard thing for me to do every other day. But yeah, it would have been like all those 90 cartoons and whatnot that kept me inspired to do it.
We had a lot of good cartoons back then. So yeah, it was definitely cartoons that got me inspired to draw. The Simpsons was one of the big things for me. This is going to sound really weird because it's like nothing I draw now. So The Simpsons, Rocko's Modern Life, Ninja Turtles was probably the first one, obviously.
Yep.
Because it came first. That's kind of what made me draw, and I was drawing like Simpsons-y kind of cartoons and shit for ages. But yeah, you know this story, but yeah, it wasn't until I was like 13, 14 when I found comic books that I really started to be like, wow, this is really cool. Because up until then, I was just drawing like really cartoony cartoons. So, I mean, I'd seen comic books before, but they didn't really grab me like Gen 13 did. So,
yeah, I was never like I wasn't introduced to comics really, except for maybe like Superman because of my brother was really into it. But I never touched comics as a kid. I think it was until after high school when I really started picking stuff up. And yeah, like Luke showed me stuff like Gen 13 and is it Danger Girl? I can't remember now. Danger Girl. All the J stuff, and then it really stemmed from there. And then, like,
nice.
as weird as it is for you, I suppose a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, have you seen Martin Abel's work?" And they showed me some stuff in, I think it was Picture magazine that you worked in.
We don't talk about that anymore. Shush.
But yeah, that sort of pushed me more into more of what I was drawing back then. But I don't really do that sort of pin-up stuff anymore. Anyway, I sort of grown away from it, back to more cartoony stuff, which I'm having way more fun anyway. But I think that's important for anyone to do is try different styles and don't be afraid to sort of gather from other artists because eventually you'll find your style. Like, I don't think I really tried to develop style, and it just sort of happened by accident.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when you were doing your pin-up sort of stuff, and it was good, but you've definitely been evolving into something better, I think. Something that's more you and
I think
more enjoyable.
The artwork too. Like, just looking at it, I feel like my work's a lot more fun, and you can see more passion in it than the pinups. The pinups are really just I was doing them because I thought people would like them and it would gain me popularity. But as I did, I started to move away from it.
It takes a while to find yourself, you know. I think we all struggle with that. Did you keep much of your old sketchbooks? I'm not sure whether you're direct to, but Chris, you answer first.
Old sketchbooks, yes and no. I've got some sketchbooks from when I started art class and onwards, but anything before that pretty much got thrown away. My parents weren't really much of collecting that sort of stuff. My mum hated hoarding, so she threw everything away. So I can't really go far back, but yeah, I think I probably got about 15 to 20 sketchbooks on my bookshelf, just of work. But most of that's probably been the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
It's kind of the same, but I think I still have a lot of the old ones, just in a big tub, which is really annoying. It's annoying to keep because it's like it's dead weight. I don't really care about it that much, but I've kept them for some reason.
Yeah.
The last couple of times I've moved, I've sort of gone through them. Actually, specifically the last time I moved, I went through them, and I had this really bad habit with my old sketchbooks of doing like 10 pages and then the other 30 are blank and then moving on to a sketchbook. And I'm like, why am I lugging around all this weight from house to house? It's ridiculous. So I went through all of them and I ripped out all the blank pages or ripped out just the drawings and kept them.
Yeah.
That's easier. But yeah, I still got some really old stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. The one thing I wish I still had is probably the covers to all of my exercise books from school.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I always doodle in the back of it. It was always generally the best stuff back then, like all your dumb ideas that you had because you weren't paying attention at school. So,
Yeah.
and I remember I did rip a few of those covers off. Like I'd throw away all the homework and then I'd just keep the covers. I don't know what even happened to them. Like I would just assume that my mum probably threw them away. So, but yeah, those had some gems in them. Just mini comics and stuff that you draw because school sucks and.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I was always drawing.
Yeah.
And it was mostly like stupid, immature things. Really stupid, immature things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think my first comic, and I've still got it, was called Killer Bunny. Or I think it was Killer Bunny. And it was just about this little rabbit. And there was a little frog that kept annoying him. So the little frog would like come along and the rabbit would just get random weapons and kill him with it. But then the frog would go to hell, and then Satan didn't want the frog. So Satan would send the frog back up, and then the rabbit would just continue to kill the frog. It was this vicious cycle. It was so bad.
That sounds awesome.
It was fun. Yeah. Maybe I should reprint it and take it to a con.
You definitely should. I want to see it.
My latest comic that I drew in year 8.
It's been a long time coming.
But yeah, I do try and keep that sort of stuff. I know once I have kids, if they're inclined, I will keep all their stuff because I know what it would have meant to me if my parents had. So,
my dad has actually hoarded quite a lot of my work, and then random times when I'm around there, he just brings out this pile of just weird stuff and just gives it to me. I'm like, why did you keep that? And like, I don't remember giving that to you. You just steal stuff, and it's kind of good, I suppose. He appreciates it.
who knows?
It's amusing to see.
Maybe one day they'll be in dire straits and they can just like sell some of your old original work on eBay. Make a few bucks. No, I can't.
That's good in theory, but I don't think so. No, that sort of old work is just so bad. It's like, why would anybody pay money for bad artwork? It doesn't make sense. No matter who you are, right?
Oh, you gotta remember though, people don't see it like that. Like you see it as, the progression you've made now in comparison, but people just see it as, their favorite artist. I'm sure there's fans out there
guess
that are pretty cool, but there's probably people out there who prefer that style that you had back when you were working for Xbox Magazine compared to now.
Sure, maybe. I don't know if anyone still remembers that stuff.
Think about it like Metallica. Most fans don't like Saint Anger, but there's people who do.
Who likes that? Have you met people who like that?
I try not to associate myself with them, but I'm sure I have.
Ouch. No, that's a fair call. It's a terrible album. Just terrible.
Like it popped into my head. Like drawing so much, like I said, I've been drawing since forever, and I'm sure there's so many artists who say that. But yeah, probably more so focused since about year 8, which would be nearly 17 years ago. I never really thought about it as just wanting to draw all the time. It was just the thing that I did. It was never a conscious effort to continuously draw. It was just like, okay, like I'm home from school and there's nothing on TV, so I'm just gonna draw my sketchbook because that's what I do.
And that's different now. Well, I feel like it's different for me anyway. Like it's like if I'm not drawing, I'm not making money. That sounds sad. It is sad. It's true. It's part of life, I guess. Do you prefer to color traditionally or digitally? I think I prefer traditional lately in the last couple of years. I definitely prefer that for myself. Digital, yeah. I mean, I'm still doing digital coloring on my covers and stuff. But yeah, your markers are fun.
Yeah, passion for coloring.
But Chris, you're more digital these days, right?
Sadly, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I hate coloring. It's something I don't really want to do in the future if I can avoid it. But I'm glad that I know how to do it, at least basically.
Yeah.
I think if I could actually put more time aside to learn a more painting style, I'd probably prefer it. But honestly, if I could, I would just probably do everything in watercolor. But I just don't have the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think for the work that I do, it doesn't create a demand for it, so I don't really focus on it. Yeah, I would probably much rather work.
If you enjoy, if that's what you enjoy, Chris, I reckon you should just try and focus on it a bit more and like progress in that direction, and then people will follow you. Do you know what I mean? And they'll start expecting, like, oh yeah, that's Chris. Chris does watercolor stuff, and then that's what they'll probably expect from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose at the moment they just sort of expect digital. Just thought digital was my thing.
It's easy to get stuck. Yeah, it's easy to get stuck into a box, I guess. Robin asks via tablet. Yeah, we both use Cintiqs, right? You use a Cintiq.
Yeah.
Where it comes to.
So the smaller one, it's about A4 size.
Martin, could you show us what you're drawing? I will try. It might not work. Is it backwards? I don't know.
No,
I hope it's not backwards.
Oh, that's
I'm just drawing this like. Sorry, Chris, I didn't hear that.
That top piece earlier on Facebook, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we went to this event last night, which was really cool. The Raw. Have you heard of Raw before?
Yeah, I think Kat Young is a member of Raw.
Okay.
It's like a membership
I don't
thing.
know who that is.
It just rings a bell, and it comes up in my head.
It's basically like an art kind of festival, I suppose you could call it, that is hosted all around the world, all around Australia, and they had a fashion show, they had bands play, they had photographers, they had artists, all local. So yeah, it's just like a way of supporting young, up and coming artists.
No.
So, but we knew the MC, Chris Raderay. He does MCing for Supernova. He lives down here as well with his lovely lady. Sorry?
Is that the guy who wears
The hat, the blue hat. No, that's I'm having a brain fart. What's his name? Peter.
Okay.
Why am I forgetting his name? Peter Budd. Yeah, that's Peter. No, this is Chris Rattray.
Okay.
Oh, we have another question.
What
artists do you both look or looked up to that you would say are big influences in your work? Chris, you go. You got the mic.
You're not going to like my answer. It was Martin Abel.
Well, now this is going to get awkward, isn't it?
No, again, going back,
go ahead.
like the whole comics thing, I was really into it. So I didn't really think so much about the artists more than cartoons when I started. But as I got older, yeah, it was probably J. Scott Campbell, Jim Lee, Scotty Young. Most of those guys who were doing, was it Dark Horse back then? No. Can you
Image.
Image, yeah. It was most of those Image guys. And then I sort of branched out further on to guys like Brett Bean, Kevin Cross. I'm trying to think now. I'm sort of having a mind blank. Yeah. And then I think there was a session where it really started to become more local guys. I think because I started knowing more people who drew. Because I could be around them more, I started being more influenced by them. Like Trev Wood, Chumba was a big one. I think Chumba was a big point of me doing more pin-up work, like all the prints and stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's constantly changing though. I'm trying to think. Anthony Holden has been a big one recently. What about you, Marty?
I think the obvious one would be J. Scott Campbell. We'll just get that right out of the way. Yep. As I said before, I found his comic books when I was like 13, 14, but comics in general. So I was also a really big fan of Randy Queen, his title Dark Child. Oh, Chris, you disappeared. Oh, very nice. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm sharing the screen this time. Yeah, I'm working on my comic now, so if anyone's curious, I'm working on Nevermore.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll just finish up what I was saying. I can't remember now.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's cool. Yeah, Randy Queen's Dark Child. I really loved his work when I was younger as well, because the way he drew his comics was amazing. Like his level of detail, and also the themes that he had in his comic. Like it was very gothic, and yeah, I don't know. That's what attracted me. Like I was never really into Spider-Man or superheroes, and I still not really that big into superheroes. But what drew me to him was the darkness that was in his artwork, the darkness and the beautiful aspect as well, because he draws beautiful ladies and beautiful things in general. So that combination of beauty and horror, I suppose, I think that actually defined what I'm interested in and my artwork way more than J. Scott Campbell ever did. I loved the way Jeff drew everything. I think that definitely influenced my style, way too much, let's face it. But in terms of content and what I actually liked, like subject-wise, was definitely Randy's Dark Child. But also Joseph Michael Lisner. I don't know if that's how you say his last name. I've never been able to figure that out. But the same sort of thing with him. He was very much like a pin-up kind of artist. Well, he did comics, but a lot of pin-up work as well. And he's the same sort of thing, very much dark and light orientated. So, God, I don't know who else really. I
like how depth your answers are compared to mine. I'm just like, all right, this dude and that guy, and this person over here. And
I was just thinking I'm rambling too much, and I've got more to say. Can I just get a few more things out and then?
Go for it, man. Go nuts.
What was I going to say? That's right. So yeah, Penny Arcade. This is really off the wall, but Penny Arcade is a webcomic drawn by Mike Hulk. I can't remember his last name either, but he basically digitally inks all his comics and stuff. And when I found his work, you know, I don't even know when it was, like 2003, I suppose, 2004 maybe. I think I saw one of his tutorials on how he inks in Photoshop, and that is what got me inking in Photoshop for a long time. And even the work I did on Xbox magazine and stuff like that, like that like cartoony style I was doing. Was like
I've never put those two together. I can really see that now.
Yeah, no, he was cool. So it was like, you know, a mashup of different genres and different types of artists all coming in is what kind of defines you. Yeah, defines your style somehow. But yeah, I never really thought about it too much, except for when I was a kid. You know, as a kid, you sort of like, you try and emulate artists, and I certainly did that when I was a kid. But I stopped.
That's super normal too, like emulating artists and ideas too.
Mm. Okay, so I think I answered that question. There's another one. Is there much of an Australian illustration scene or industry? It seems that there's a metric ton of illustrators in the States, but really not that many in Australia. Well,
you take that one. You've been doing it longer than I have.
I think there's a lot in Australia, honestly. Like, I mean, illustration is a broad term, so it can involve like comic artists and all that. And the comic, I was speaking to this with Bruno Redondo. I can't remember how to say his name. I'm terrible with names. At Supernova this weekend, we were talking, and because he's from Spain, he was one of the Spain comic guests for Supernova. Really cool guy. But he was asking about like the comic scene, and I'm like, there's no comic scene in Australia, because like there never was for me when I was growing up. So I know, right? And then afterwards, I'm like, there totally is. Why am I saying that? Like there actually is an Australian industry now. I wouldn't say it was massive, but it's definitely something. Like people are doing things, and I'm not. I'm doing my own things over here, but I'm not like doing the whole comic industry thing here. But, yeah. But yeah, to answer the question, there's heaps of artists here. Honestly, there is. There's just not as many as America, I would assume, because it's like a much bigger country. You've got much more people, but we do have a lot of artists here. Like our artist alleys are quite big at conventions, especially the one this last weekend in Supernova Melbourne. That was the biggest one they've ever had, I think. Yeah, I was saying.
Really?
What did you think of that, Chris? Because you were there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I skipped so much of the artist alley. Like I really sort of jumped to mostly people I knew or things that really grabbed my attention. But I think I skipped so much of it just because it was just the same fan art junk. But instead of that, like I did notice that there was a slew of artists there, like heaps. Although some of them, I mean, and this isn't to take away from people in their craft, but I'm really starting to notice there's more graphic designers coming into the artist alley than the actual illustrators. Fuck yeah. Just taking photographs of like it's like Batman versus Superman or Arrow and stuff, and then just making their own renditions of it, and just essentially just photoshopping stuff, putting titles on it, and then selling it as their own art. And that, I hate that shit. I hate it. I've got my particular reasons for that, but
you're opening up a whole can of worms, man.
Hey,
you're opening up a whole can of worms with that topic.
Yeah, but look, there is a ton of artists. I mean, I'm a member of Illustrators Australia, and there's heaps of illustrators on there, heaps, and that's only one sort of source to register or
Yeah.
at least to be discovered. I mean, you're a member of Jackie Winter, and they've got how many artists on board? Surely hundreds at least.
No, I don't know if about hundreds. I think they're kind of selective, so they've probably got about 30 illustrators. But there's so many artists here. There really is.
Yeah.
It's just whether you've heard of them or not. And sometimes, you might be surprised, like some artists are actually Australian and you wouldn't even realize. Like Patrick Brown, who does like all that amazing fan art, even though I don't like fan art, but his fan art is the exception because it's freaking crazy.
Yeah, God.
He's from Tasmania. Did you know that, Chris?
Yeah, I did. You told me.
Like, you'd never expect that. Like, people just assume.
Blown away by that fact.
Yeah, people just assume they're American for some reason.
Actually, you know what? This is going to sound, I can't even think of the word, maybe ignorant of me, but I feel like anyone with a professional artistic talent, almost, at least in my head when I find them online, for example, I almost instantly think they're probably from the States.
Why is that? It's saying something about our culture, isn't it?
It's just sort of like that stereotype, I suppose. I mean, that's where all the big cons are. That's where all the big famous artists are. That's where all the big studios are. There's not a lot here. There's not a lot of opportunity for artists down here. So, and even if they were Aussies, like I would just assume that they moved to the States to make it big. But I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, you got folks like Patrick Brown and yourself who are, the exception where it's like, well, no, we're just Aussies doing our own thing in our own studios, in our own homes.
Yep.
Which was Darren Yao posted a photo today of like, it was just like stuff for his like personal stuff, but when it was just a picture of his backyard that had been fixed up, and I'm like, you just live in the middle of suburbia in Melbourne, like, but you're this big famous artist who developed the Nomad, and here you are, just in the burbs.
Yep. So, in the burbs.
Yeah, I definitely think the style of an artist dictates what I imagine of them and where they're from, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Another question for me. Do I do live streams of my inking and coloring process? I adore the autumn fawn. Thanks, Robin. At this point, no, I don't. Because my internet sucks, really. Until I get some fast internet happening, then we'll do it.
Worth noting, though, that you do live streams on your Patreon. Not live streams, time lapses on your Patreon.
True. Yes. The Patreon does have videos of me drawing and stuff like that uploaded every month. And we're going to be doing actual tutorials really soon.
Oh, you are?
Well, we have to. We don't have a choice anymore because I think we've almost reached our, like, you know how you can have a goal, like a milestone goal?
Oh, yeah.
I think we've almost reached ours, which was, to do the tutorials. So,
okay, nice. That'd be awesome for you though. Like when I started doing classes, like I felt like I learned so much more just even by doing them because I had to force myself to actually think about what I was doing.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It makes you just be aware of what you're doing. Yeah, definitely.
It's funny, like when you talk about the goals, I'm just thinking, like, because my goal at the moment is, I think it's $200 to, if I reach that goal, I can buy myself a new printer with a scanner and everything. But
nice.
The other day, my printer died, so I had to just go out and buy a printer. But I was actually amazed, like, how cheap it was. Like, I got a color printer with an A4 scanner for, what was it, $35? So,
yeah, man, they're so cheap now. It's ridiculous.
So, I'm happy with it. I haven't really tested the scanner out to see how good it is, but it's more of like a photo style printer, which is good because now I can start printing out on decent paper and doing my blue lines.
Right.
Start doing more commissions.
Yeah.
That's the goal anyway.
It's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a new printer before we moved, which was really silly because it's huge. We were moving across the sea, so that was dumb. But yeah, my other one broke. So
Was that your brother? The brother?
Yeah, it was the brother. Now I've got an Epson.
Ooh,
and it's
good things about it.
It's much better. It was practically the same thing, but it's not broken and it works. But yeah, no, it's for anyone who's like wondering why we're talking about printers and stuff is because I think me and Chris kind of do a similar thing where we, we'll scan a sketch or whatever and then we'll print it out again, or at least you would print out a sketch to ink.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. I've only just started doing it, but yeah, I'll pencil digitally because I'm very, very messy. So I'll pencil digitally and then I'll print it out on like a cardstock and then I'll ink over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that way if I want to scan it in, I can. But I want to do it more so for commissions as well. Preferably, I think too. Like at least my and like anyone who gets a commission will actually get a better quality commission because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, Samurai. Yeah, the days of light boxes are over for me. Like I remember all throughout my teenage years, I had this massive light box that my dad built me. I used to live on that thing. Hey, Dave. But now it's like it's all printer. Like you can just scan something, print it out again. Done. Bam. Don't have to worry about.
It's funny that you say that because like right behind me, I've been inking traditionally with my light box for.
Well, if I had one that was good, I'd probably be happy with that. But I don't have one, so printers.
The one I got was a bit of a fluke. It's actually, do you know when you go to the shops and people have, it's essentially like paper thin, but it lights up like it's an electronic light sheet. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
And they
I think a lot of tourists use them for their designs.
Yeah. When I was teaching at Chisholm TAFE, one of my students, her brother actually made them or something. And she just gave me one of the sheets and it was sort of nearly A2 size. And I've just got that like duct tape underneath my drawing table because it's glass. So I essentially just made a light box out of it. So it's super lightweight and it's powerful enough to.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but from the light boxes I've seen these days, most of them are just LEDs and they're super lightweight. So you could probably get a decent one if you did want to go back to, traditional ways.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. For the moment, like, it's working for me with the whole printing thing, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's nice that you're doing more traditional stuff anyway at the moment. I like your brushwork. It's beautiful.
Thanks, dude. I'm enjoying it so much more. Like, we've talked about this before, but from the book that I did last year, where most of it was digital, that was the end of it for me. That ended my inking in Photoshop. I was like, nah, I'm done. Hey, Austin. How's things, man? We got all the people here now. All the peeps.
It's nice to see Ox on, man. What time is it for you, Ox? It must be late as. Jesus. Then again, he probably won't hear this for like 2 minutes. So, I'll just quietly await his reply, twiddle my fingers.
Sure.
It's nice actually to be able to sort of talk to folks through the chat. Though it's nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh man,
Dreams and that's kind of a cool idea, actually.
man. I always get because I follow Ox on Snapchat, and geez, it's 2:30 in the morning. He's crazy. I follow Ox on the Snapchat, and like I don't know if I told you, but like coincidentally discovered he was a fan of yours, and I was gloating. I was like, oh yeah, Marty was in my wedding party, you know. But I get all these snaps from him, and in the background, I just see like his walls plastered with like Martin Abel prints. I'm like, that's insane. Like, whole other side of the world, and he's just like this massive supporter. Like, that's awesome, man.
Oh, I'm flattered, dude. Both of you, thank you.
So yeah, show Ox some love next time he puts in an order.
Oh, I will.
Actually, going back to what you were saying.
I'll put the message.
Hey?
I said I'll put the word to Jamie to keep her eye out for any names that are familiar.
I was going to say, going back to what you said about Supernova, I'm sure she knows his name already.
All I have to do is ask her. I'm sure she would know who you are, definitely.
Super Sailor.
Matthew says, since you guys have lived in Melbourne, do you know much about study options for illustration? Well, I haven't really studied for like 15 years, but no, I can't really talk about it because I really don't know much about what's going on currently. I did a TAFE course, Diploma Illustration, so nothing too fancy. Chris, did you do any art studies?
I did private art classes with a fella named Rod Tokley, who worked for. He did work for. I think it was DC. He worked on the Phantom, and then he also worked on another, on like a daily thing on a magazine. But I never did anything official. I just sort of kept going after those classes finished up. So yeah. But like talking about the TAFE course you do, like I know they do that at a few different TAFEs. Which
they do.
Yeah, working in the art shop, I deal with a lot of the kids who do that course, and
Really?
Yeah, it seems like an awesome course to do. Like I wish I had the opportunity to do it, but Chisholm TAFE do seem to run a pretty good illustration course.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, I mean, like whenever anyone's asking me like, what did you get from art school? I'm like, well, they didn't teach me how to draw how I do now. They didn't teach me really anything apart from a few things like life drawing and stuff. But there's a lot that thinking about it now, that was really good. Like we used to do day trips up into the city and speak with illustrators and stuff, like children's book illustrators, and go see really cool artsy movies and things. It was awesome. I had the best time. I wish I could do it again. I feel, but for a current, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like if I was going to do it now, the biggest advantage I can see getting from it would be one, learning about business and how to run your own business, which is something I never did, and I wish I had that knowledge prior to going freelance. And next to that, also just learning different mediums as well, because at the moment I know what I know, and I sort of had to teach myself. And there's like, I haven't touched oil paints before. I've never touched gouache before. I only touched watercolor.
Yeah.
Force myself to do it, and I wish that I had that prior knowledge, and that's probably what I get the most out of those classes, because if you're going into an illustrated course, you already know how to draw. The illustrator,
you have to get accepted.
Getting better at drawing is just going to be you know, it's that cliche, you know, just keep practicing, you'll get better. Like, it's literally, that's all you can do. Just draw every other day, and draw every day, and you'll notice it. But if you want to learn how to use all the different mediums and tools, then that's the best way to go about it, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree, definitely. I don't think I think if you're doing it in your spare time, you could just self-teach yourself anything you want to. But I'm sure there's a lot of cool things you could do to study. I mean, there's like schoolism and
even YouTube's a massive.
There's so many different ways you can learn shit now. Like even just with Patreon. I mean, back when me and you, Chris, when we were like teenagers, even like learning to draw, we didn't have like tutorials and stuff, really. I mean, we sort of did, but not to the extent that people have it available today. So it's like, it's pretty awesome.
I think for me back then, it was like picking up a copy of K-Zone or something, and there'd be like a tutorial, like how to draw SpongeBob SquarePants, you know, with like all the squares and stuff. And I would, that's what I would draw. But, or, you know, going to pick up, go to the library and I'd borrow how to draw the Marvel way and things like that.
That's
probably where I got
yeah. I had like a Simpsons comic sort of magazine. It wasn't a comic book, but it was like a magazine, and it was all to do with how to draw the Simpsons. And I freaking loved it. I think it was the best thing ever.
That sounds fantastic. I want one.
I wish I still had it.
Yeah,
it'd be worth money now.
Yeah, even those simple things. And this is going to sound, a few people who I've told this to are just like, oh, really? That's how you learn? But this was what I was taught, you know, in regards to how to draw. I traced a lot. I know, yeah, I remember telling you, Mike, you were like a bit unsure about it, but like when I started learning and I started getting to like J. Scott Campbell, I would get tracing paper and I would redraw all of the pages. I would just redraw the whole thing. Yeah, I had no intent to do anything with it. It was purely for, you know, learning purposes. Yeah. But I learned heaps because I was literally drawing the way they draw, or almost drawing the way they draw, and picking up habits. And that worked well for me. And I still do it to this day sometimes. If I find an artist that I really like, and mostly when I'm having a bit of an artist block, I'll just pick up an art book and I won't trace anymore, but I'll copy, you know, what I'm seeing into my sketchbook and try and duplicate it. It's only my sketchbook, so it doesn't matter. No one else is going to see it. I'm just trying to pick up.
I mean, I think I was a little bit iffy when we talked about this last time because I'm not keen on the fact, like some people are like, they copy things and they pass them off as their own. And I think that's a little bit wrong, especially when you're an adult. When you're a kid, it's like, well, you can't really judge them too much for that. They're just kids. But yeah, for a learning thing, I mean, sure, why not? I mean, if it's just in your own sketchbook and, you know, doing anything else with it or claiming that it's your own artwork, I think that could probably be beneficial. I don't think I really ever traced, but I definitely copied when I was like, you know, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Definitely was copying, but I was still trying to do my own spin on it too.
Yeah, I think
if you look back at my really old stuff, really, but you can't because it's only boxes. So no one's seeing that stuff.
Come on. Unleash the beast.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Matthew says.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. I can't read and do two things at once.
Look at all the art.
I've looked at all the art.
I'm pretty sure the way to go is self-study. Yeah, it's not a bad way to go. There's so many options.
I'm sure it's probably cheaper.
Actually, one I've been wanting to check out is Jake Parker's, and is it Will Terry or Will Terrell?
Oh, yeah, Will Terrell's awesome.
Yeah. Is Will Terrell the one who does with the funny laugh, or is that Will Terry?
I
Because
thought
they're both
Will
big.
Terrell is the jolly guy who's like really good at caricatures.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the other one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was.
him and Jake Parker run an online school. I'll see if I can find it while we're doing this.
Sure.
So you can check it out, Matt. But they run it. I think they actually do. You can either buy the courses, or you can sort of subscribe, I suppose. You can subscribe to it, and then you can just watch as many videos as you want each month, and then just pay like a monthly fee. Oh, Dave's got it. Yeah, SVS Learn it's called. Yeah.
Nice.
So I've been meaning to check that out as well. Thanks for that, Dave. But yeah, I mean, those dudes are just constant inspiration as well. And that's what I probably should have mentioned earlier. As one of my inspirations is Jake Parker, massively at the moment.
Yeah, Jake's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dave, I saw you a couple of times, like on the weekend, as we were walking to do other things, and I don't think I got to actually say hello. So I'm sorry about that, mate. And I'll make a bigger effort to say hey and hang out.
It gets pretty busy at those things.
It's so different now when you're there as a guest, because on the Sunday we had to. I think the show closed at like. Gee, I don't even know what time it closed. I assume 6. It closes at 6, and they wanted us packed up and in the green room, ready for a bus at like 5:15 or something ridiculous. So like then we have to, and it takes us 15 minutes to pack up, and we rushed that so quickly. So we don't even get to say goodbye to anyone. Like it kind of sucks. It's awesome to be there. Like we're super stoked, but at the same time, like you don't get that that chance to say hey to anyone.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I suppose you're there as, I suppose, not staff, but there's an expected.
Well, it depends. Like, I mean,
what the words I'm trying to say.
If we were getting there by our own means, then we'd probably stay as long as we could.
Yeah,
but because we literally had to catch that bus to get to the hotel. It's like, shit. We don't do that. We're not getting, so it's just how it is at the moment. What's Austin saying?
Austin. Oh, he's just saying, yeah, like learning online is a good starting point.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm just having a look at SVS now. It's $15 a month, or $12.50 per month if you subscribe for a year, which works out $150 a year, which is a hell of a lot cheaper than going to TAFE or uni. Because I know the illustrators course at Chisholm TAFE is like $4,000 at the moment. So
I guess the problem is, like, I mean, schoolism might be different, but do you get like, you don't get a diploma, or you know what I mean?
You get a bit of paper at the end, no. But I mean, illustration, really, how important is that piece of paper compared to the
honestly, you just don't need it. Like,
no.
The experiences and the things you learn, sure, but like the paper, I suppose I don't think I've ever really had to say what I've studied or anything. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I was saying to Jazz the other day, like, when I get older and when I retire, the one thing I'm probably going to end up doing when that happens is going back to school and just learning. I'll probably do like a 5 degree or something. Like, I wouldn't do anything that I already, I wouldn't do illustration. I'd do something that's art related that I've never done before, just so I could do it and get a little bit of paper at the end. I mean, I'm retired, so it doesn't matter. It's just something to, fill my time with.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love to go back and study again.
Yeah. Much simpler
But I
time to
won't.
study.
Yeah, there's not enough time to do it anymore.
No.
But I would love to paint as well. Actually, one
Yeah.
day when I'm older and I have more time and less about making money, earning a living, then I would definitely like to paint. But I don't know if I'd be any good at it. You need patience, and I'm very impatient.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the biggest problems, I think, for me, traditional mediums is patience.
Definitely.
I mean, it's one of those things that we've just sort of grown up in a very fast-paced world anyway. So you're just sort of used to things just being instant. Working
Yes.
like that. So I'm sure that's a contributor to it. But once you do get started, I mean, it's very therapeutic. You sort of get lost in time anyway.
Yeah, I've done a couple of paintings, but they've been very flat. Nothing like really rendered stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be able to render stuff cool. Render stuff cool.
Render stuff cool.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
By Martin
Yeah. I've never tried oil paints, so that would be interesting.
Okay, at least I'm
not even. Yeah, don't beat yourself up, man, because we've all been there. It's not fun. I'm slowly learning to be kinder to myself. Because yeah,
it's definitely
it's a bad path to go down. If you're being
really
too
self-critical that we all deal with. But once you sort of start to not control it, but if you can work with it, I suppose, and use it to your advantage, then yeah, man, the world.
Definitely. In particular, recently, like some of the work I've been doing, in previous years, I would just draw things so many different times. Like I would spend maybe 2 weeks just on one drawing because I'm just doing it over and over and over again because I wasn't happy with it, because I thought what I was doing was crap and it just wasn't good enough. But what I've found is, like, if you come back like a month later or even a week later and you look at those crappy drawings that you've done, they're not as bad as you think they are. And that's happening to me more and more now, which I don't know why, but I like it because it's hard. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that you should just not be too hard on yourself. Yeah. Do you mind if I link my sketch spread? Go for it. I lost my train of thought in that sentence, but
in light of what you're saying, I think it's super important to take a step back, especially if you're becoming frustrated with the piece that you're working on, or even just in general. Take a step back and then come back to it with fresh eyes, like, in the next day or in a week, because it makes such a huge difference. Yeah, we're all really critical of ourselves. And like for me, I constantly, and I'm sure she's annoyed by it, constantly say, hey, Jazz, what do you think of this? Hey, Jazz, what do you think of that? And it's probably about 10, 20 times a night when I'm working them, just because I just want, because she's generally pretty honest with me. If it's shit, she'll tell me it's shit. But so I know,
that's what you want, right?
Then it is. I know that, at least she thinks it's good, and it'll make me sort of go, okay, yeah, maybe it is. I'll keep working on it then. But it's easy to just get so frustrated with your work that, you feel like it's going nowhere. Yeah, man, just fight. Fight it.
Totally. I've also found, like, I think what's helping me recently is like actually having some deadlines. Because like I said, back in the day when I would like spend 2 weeks on one concept of a drawing.
Yep.
Clearly I didn't have a deadline for it, you know, and sometimes that can be bad because you've got so much time to just fluff around with it. But these Zenoscope covers I'm doing recently, I just got a new one this week. I don't have time to fluff around anymore, so I kind of just got to get it done. And this week I've had a bit of trouble with it too. So it's not good when you come into trouble, but having that deadline, it's just like, okay, I've got 3 drawings that I've worked on, like concepts.
Yep.
I'm running out of time. I'm just going to have to go with one. And that can be good because once you decide, okay, we're going to go with this, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's good enough. And then you continue to work on it. You start to love it more. Like you need to allow that sketch to evolve into something better. But yeah, previously I would have just been like, that one's crap, I'll do another one, and it would just be, it's like go on forever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point. I teach a lady how to paint every second week or so, and she's so transfixed on the finished product that she doesn't take time to appreciate and understand the process it takes to get up to it.
Yeah.
So like I'll walk in with a finished piece and say, this is what we're painting today. And then we'll start, and I'll have in my head the layers, like, you know, we'll sketch it out first and then we'll do, like, let's say it's a seascape, because it generally is that sort of stuff. Okay, so we'll do the sky first, we'll do the water, we'll do the sand, and most of it's just blocking in. And at that point, like, it looks crap. It doesn't look nice. And she gets so frustrated, and she's like, well, why doesn't it look like the painting that we've done? I'm like, well, we've still got steps to go. And as she builds through those steps and she starts to understand and starts to actually see that finished product, and you've got to take those concepts and sort of work with them a bit more. Like I said, don't stress over, you know, it's not working there, like straight up, you know, from the initial sketch. If you keep working through it, it's gonna come to, you're gonna start enjoying it.
Yeah, we just put too much pressure on ourselves, I think.
Austin just posted, he said, I've got a note blue tacked onto a wall at the moment that says finished, not perfect, which is something I need to definitely keep in mind. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that saying. Yeah, that's rad.
Just finished.
Yeah. What's
and
that?
Actually, that's
like
another reason.
1,000 bad pieces in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is, like, sometimes I've just had a sketch that I've sort of abandoned just lying on the table, and it gets to that point mentally in your head where you're like, I'm just going to spend like 5-10 minutes on this thing, no pressure, just for fun. Like, pretend that you're not working. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. So, you know, just doodling. And I've often found that actually kind of works. Like, you can kind of bring it to a point where you're happy with it again.
Yeah.
We talk some crap, don't we, Chris?
Oh, man. Sketchbooks are just for throwing ideas down. Like for my sketchbook, I don't really think about it consciously anymore, but when I just start drawing it, I don't really think about the finished piece, or I don't even worry about how crap it looks. I just want to just let my hand do its thing. I just want it to draw. And then if something good comes of it, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be aware of it, and then I might take it further. You know, I'll scan it and then work on it further. But yeah, man, sketchbooks, man, I can not recommend sketchbooks enough. Or even just doodling.
Definitely.
Get that stuff out of your head and onto the paper. No stress behind it either. Just do it purely for the sake that you want to draw.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So, Chris, you are available into the evening, is this correct?
Yeah, I probably want to cook dinner soon though.
Yep, this is where I'm heading because I'm super hungry and it's about time for us to eat some food. But
Okay.
I want to come back.
Yeah,
I
we
want to come back. And I was thinking I might set up my camera afterwards and just spend the night in here drawing.
yeah, we can do that. That sounds cool.
Sweet.
All right. Well,
You guys gonna join
you're gonna have to wait.
all
Like,
you people? I don't know how many people are, but can you find out actually how many people are even watching?
from what I can see on the Hangout, it says 7 people are watching. So I think a few people are joining. Yeah.
Whoa. So many peoples. That's cool. I want to come back anyway, even if there's one person. We should do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna be drawing anyway.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll head off now, and we'll come back in an hour or 2 hours. What do you reckon?
I reckon 7:30 ish.
Yeah, 7:30. All right, we'll aim.
Ox, I
Yeah.
reckon about an hour and a half.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll schedule one for 7. We'll post a link up on our pages anyway. So
Yep, definitely.
cool.
Cool.
Well, you enjoy.
All
Your
right.
day. See you soon.
Yep. All right. See you guys. See you, Chris.
Thanks everyone for watching. If we don't see you later.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.